Game 1 win, didn't really break too much of a sweat. They stumbled here and there along the way, but their lineup really just seemed to be a little bit better overall. We're going to see a pretty similar start to the game here, at least in terms of the draft. LFY going to stick to their guns, getting rid of a Monkey King and a tree, but Vici.J going to get rid of both of the opening heroes from LFY in the previous game, getting rid of the Earth Spirit and the Crystal Maiden. I'm not so sure that the ES and the Crystal Maiden were the big problems that game. I think the Crystal Maiden probably had more of an impact than it may have seen at first glance. I think the Crystal Maiden enabled the Death Prophet a lot to find really good farm. I think Death Prophet had an extremely fast Yules in that game. And Death Prophet is actually a hero that you can yourself by farming very, very easily. So that little bit of extra mana from the Arcane Aura, definitely very, very helpful. Anyway, so we got Sand King and Rubik as the pickups here. In response to this Warlock. I like the Sand King. I'm not so convinced that Rubik is a particularly amazing hero against Warlock. It's so hard to steal Chaotic Offering, like to, and almost to the point of being impossible. It's a hero with 4 active abilities, 3 of which he wants to cast after the Chaotic Offering. So it's very difficult to steal unless he ooms himself or something like that, or you happen to be, you know, flanking and see him cast it, something like that. But anywho, does give them some decent roaming and ganking potential. Plenty of lockdown between these two heroes as well, which is definitely very nice to have. And the Sand King is somewhat ambiguous. Could be your safe, well, could be your support, could be your offlane. Remains to be seen. I think the overall trend at the moment is offlane Sand King, so it gives them room to pick up another support here if they so desire. But Vici.J, they got plenty of good options here. What do they want? The Legion Commander's there, very, very popular. What else? Could be a decent Spectre game. Again, I don't really think that they play it that much, but I would like to see them, you know, maybe thinking about that somewhat. If it's going to be anything, I think it's probably going to be RTK's hero here, but the question becomes, what is that hero going to be? Do they take Magnus, perhaps? They could, but then you're picking Magnus into Rubik, which could be a little bit tough. It gives them a lot of team fight, but then it also, on the other hand, maybe gives away what their cores are going to be. So, you know, if you pick Mag, then they ban Jug, then, you know, we kind of go back and forth, thinking all the way down this line. And instead, all right, Vici.J just gonna grab themselves a Centaur. I think a slightly more comfortable pick, perhaps, for RTK, but pretty good with the Warlock as well. That's a very potent dual lane. Rubik is not a very good safe lane support in terms of zoning and pressure and keeping out offlaners, so I'd very much like to see the Centaur maybe just grabbing 4-man shield, set of tangos, Warlock sitting behind him, and they can put a ton of pressure on whatever LFY are running in the safe lane, because the Troll actually did do a lot of work in that previous game. He got some good farm at the start, hit the jungle for a little bit, and despite the fact that, again, his team didn't really use his ultimate all that well, still had a very good impact. So
5 seconds remaining.
I feel like shutting down Monet or Motel is going to have to be a little bit more of a focus this game for Vici.J, perhaps. They did actually pressure him a lot in that previous game. I feel like he had heroes in his lane, you know, for the first 10 minutes, but it did not end up mattering all that much after they started taking those towers down. So we got Lina banned, Terrorblade banned, interestingly enough. Vici.J do play it. I think they have 6 games in the last 3 months, 50% win rate. Off the top of my head, I was looking at this just a little bit earlier, since, as I mentioned in the draft for game 1, I feel like TB and Spectre are 2 very important safe lane heroes to be talking about right now in the context of Kiev. And some teams play them, some teams don't. So it's interesting to see if that trend is going to shift as we move a little bit further along. Anyway, we got Omni Knight being banned out, Lifestealer removed. Definitely very, very nice hero to have against the Centaurs. So setting up for their Centaur a little bit there, as Troll will come in once again. This time around, they still have the option of picking up the Magnus here if they want it, but Troll seemed to farm just fine without it in the previous game. Also, I think the one nice thing about Troll is that he actually gives you quite a lot of kill potential in terms of safe laners. He strikes a nice balance, let's say, between, say, a hero like Ursa, who has insane kill potential, but not much farming potential, and a hero like, what's another good example? I was about to say Sven, but Sven doesn't really, you know, Sven has good kill potential and he has good farm potential. But I guess a hero like Slark maybe, which he doesn't really bring that much to the lane. He's not a very strong laning hero necessarily, but he does farm extremely fast. And then Trollwoller's sort of in the middle there, where he's got a slow, is decently survivable in the lane, can do good damage with the backup of his team, but then he also has good farm once he backs up into the jungle. Maybe the other example should be something like a Lycan, where Lycan farms really fast, especially with this Armlet Mask of Madness build that we've been seeing, but doesn't really bring that much threat to the lane. No slow, no nothing like that. So, all right, Troll Death Prophet, we're doing it again. VG.J have picked themselves Avenge. I don't know if that's going to be safe lane or if that's going to be heading towards mid. If it's safe lane, then we probably look at something like a Shadow Fiend for mid. If you're picking Avenge safe lane, you definitely want another hero that's going to be benefiting from your aura and benefiting from the minus armor on Howl. So, is it Howl Terror or Wave of Terror? Wave of Terror. And I feel like SF is very popular for that, but alright, Vici.J just going to grab themselves a sniper, get a little bit more high ground defense than they had in the previous game. Still have options in terms of how they want to run this. Could be like pause 5 Venge or position 4 Venge even. And Sniper's probably heading mid, but the ambiguous thing is what their safe laner is going to be. Unfortunately, they don't have, it's not that much of a mix-up because they don't have last pick, so we'll see. Phantom Lancer will be the ban. That's weird. Is Phantom Lancer that much of a problem for them this game? They did remove the interaction with Illusions and Ag's Sand King, so you know, Phantom Lancer is a little bit more of a hero as a result, but I feel like PL has not been hasn't been that impressive from what I've seen. I think Secret picked him a couple of times and they won with it, but I think they might have been the only team that won with it at Kiev. There might have been one other team that picked it one game and won, but I think they were the only ones who were really utilizing that hero. But Vici.J just gonna ban out, well, either a position 4 support or an off lane here. There's options either way. Darkseer is gonna be the ban. Maybe we'll see something like a Tide come in from L.F.Y. instead. I think that could be pretty decent. Get some more team fight. You've already got a very 5-man oriented lineup with the Troll and the Death Prophet, so you know, I see no reason to mess around and try and drag things out too much. Just try and get some more team fight and be ready to go and take those team fights, take those towers, take that high ground, take the shrines, win the game, in theory. As Vici.J, alright, it is going to be your position 1 Vengeful Spirit. Tusk looking like he's going to be your 4. Gives them a little bit more save against the Death Prophet Silence, potentially. Gives them some good roaming potential, actually. Though if you snowball into the Death Prophet, then she's going to cast 2 Spirit Siphons and maybe not die, so gonna have to be careful about that. But FY is definitely an amazing player when it comes to playing these position 4 roamers, so that's definitely something to watch out for this game. If he gets off to a bad start, then I don't know how much he's going to do this game. It's also, Tusk, mentioned it against the Silence, but it's also amazing against Sand King. You can dodge pretty much all of the Epicenter damage using your Snowball, if you time it properly, and, even save people from Burrow Strike stuns and stuff like that. Also, really good scouting with the Frozen Sigil against the Sand King. You find him in some trees, maybe he's channeling Epicenter, you throw shards at him, he cancels Blink, and all of a sudden Epicenter isn't even a problem anymore. And the final cherry on top for this Tusk pick for Vici.J is that it goes really nicely with the Centaur. I was already talking about Warlock plus Centaur putting pressure on this LFY safe lane, but now they can have the Tusk up there and they can snowball into shards, into Hoop Stomp, Double Edge, etc., etc. If that's a Rubik or a Troll Warlord, they're definitely dead. So it's not only a rotation that the LFY safe lane has to be afraid of, but it's also a rotation that the LFY mid might have to be a little bit afraid of, because they could smoke the Centaur, very quickly run over towards mid from the Radiant offlane and pick up a relatively easy kill. So we might see some pressure on this Death Prophet, and what is the pick? What's the solution here if you're LFY? I don't know. I think Tide still looks decent, but maybe you're worried you're just gonna get kited by the Stampede. So maybe you want something a little bit faster in terms of lockdown. Tough call. Night Stalker. Okay, so what? Position 3. Oh, I don't know. I've seen this both ways. I've seen the position 3 Night Stalker and the position 4 Sand King. So on the same team. So I'm not actually 100% sure which way this one's going, but I would think that it's position 4 Night Stalker. I think if the Night Stalker goes to the off lane against the Vengeful Spirit Tusk plus whoever, I feel like he might just die. The plan could be to run the Night Stalker and the Sand King down there, and that pressure will keep the Tusk away from their safe lane, which would work out nicely. But then they'd have to have a ward near, a ward to spot the Tusk rotation, because if these two heroes are bot and then the Tusk runs in, I feel like the Tusk just goes on the Night Stalker and the Sand King can't really do that much to save him. Night Stalker is pretty tanky, but you know, this Vici.J safe lane has plenty of damage. This should be a really interesting game. The Night Stalker adds even more of a vision element, which is really interesting. They're still extremely reliant on the Sand King for initiation on the LFY side, which is tough. I felt this in the previous game. It didn't really turn out to be the case, but I feel like Vici.J have much better team fight than LFY. It might even be better this game than it was in the previous game, because last game it was kind of just the Warlock, I guess, for teamfight control, let's say. Of course, Omni Knight is a good team fighting hero, but in terms of AoE lockdown, they pretty much only had the Warlock. But now they've got the Centaur this time around as well. All right, these guys are not battle pass plebs, but you know, I guess this is bugged on lobby games right now. And let's get ourselves into it. Start out zoomed in on one of those towers. Yeah, you can see like it is leveled up properly in game. It's just that screen doesn't work. All right, let's get into it. We got Night Stalker. Looks like he's going to be heading off lane. This is actually Afu, for those of you wondering. I checked it out in between games. So Afu, formerly of WG Unity, looks like he's now playing for LFY. DDC is the Rubik. FY is on Tusk, already moving around, putting on some pressure. We got Motail or Monet on the Troll Warlord. This is Freeze. I think Freeze was actually playing the Weaver last game, and Aggressive was on the Ember, so I may have had those two swapped around, so my apologies for that. RTK is on the Centaur. Fenrir once again going to be playing the Warlock, and we have Aggressive this time around on the Vengeful Spirit. Who else we got? So what, this is Inflame on the Night Stalker. A little bit of lag going on. Super on the Death Prophet. And yeah, DDC in there. Okay, that's everybody. Hopefully this lag clears up. If it doesn't, we'll just pull a quick reconnect. Should be fine after that. They're putting pressure on this Death Prophet here. Stun gonna come in. Death Prophet has skilled up the Spirit Siphon. A little bit of damage as well from the Shadow Word. Tusk coming in. Does he get the Shards block? Looks like he didn't, because Death Prophet is still running away. And with that all said and done, oh, we've unlagged ourselves, it looks like. All right, we'll see if this holds. Whoop, Sand King using the Burst Strike to get the Bounty Rune, but now he's got to run for it. But he's running in the right direction, and he's got some boots, so he's actually going to be just fine to get out of there. Even blocking up this, blocks up the medium camp, body blocks the big camp. Did he see that the Centaur had an Iron Talon? Oh man, Afu God. I guess must have clicked on the Centaur, saw his items. There's another Burst Strike ready to go. Needs to be careful about the Ice Shards though. He's got boots, however, so. The mind game that's happening right now is that if he Ice Shards, then he's just going to Burst Strike out of the Ice Shards. I don't know why he's letting himself get punched so much. Alright, the Shards are there now. Burrows over it. That is the safest Burst Strike. The trick with burrowing out of Ice Shards is if you try and burrow too far away, your hero is like, oh, I got a path all the way around. And you get killed anyway, but smart play from Afu, just clicks right on the outside and gets it every time. So Looks like he's just decided that he's going to be a thorn in RTK's side. RTK not opting to go and play the offlane at all. I really thought that he was going to. I really thought that this Centaur, Warlock, Tusk kind of a tri-lane thing was going to happen, but not at all the case. We're gonna reconnect real fast here. Do. But yeah, I guess Centaur. Wait, why did they pause? That's just me. Don't pause for me. But yeah, I'm interested that the Centaur didn't choose to go and actually contest the lane at all. This is going to be a more reliable blink for him, but it just means that the troll is going to get absolute free farm, which is tough. Warlock has been able to run some pulls, get some decent farm, but given that the Tusk is busy just getting messed around by the Sand King, Nutstalker's actually doing pretty nicely for himself, getting some good CS, getting some good levels, and he is going to be an absolute terror a little bit later on in the game. Sand King trapped inside here, will be able to burrow himself out. FY still on the chase. Does he have enough move speed to get in here and get that auto attack off to get the slow? Afu, his boots have served him extremely well so far, but looks like they might not be enough this time around. The ice shards are going to block him in. No block. Still trying to get the deny. Manages to do some shopping, and he'll be taken out. FY just a little bit off on the ice shards block there. And alright. This is Afu making some... He's making some space. You know, not a ton that you can do as a level 1 Sand King, you would think, but he just stole a bunch of experience, gave the Centaur a really hard time, wasted all of Tusk's time as well. I was talking up this Tusk pick. He's going to go top. He's going to get kills there. He's going to go mid with the smoke. He's going to get kills there. Well, it looks like he's going to go nowhere because he's just stuck in his own jungle because of what the Sand King is pulling. So very even safe lanes right now. You know, both sides getting pretty good farm. How is this mid lane going, actually? A little bit of an advantage in the Death Prophet's favor. She has gone for the double null talisman, just get that little bit of extra damage going to help last hit against the Sniper, who has gone for double Wraith Band. We're seeing the mid meta evolve before your very eyes. Sand King is smoked now. He's still only level 1, but he's going to be going for this Sniper. Shrapnel gets laid down. Tusk going to try and help out, but he actually ends up dragging them that little bit closer. Sniper's still alive, and he does actually have a Fairy Fire, but the bounce of the Fade Bolt is going to finish him off. I don't even think DDC cast that directly. Looks like he banked it off the Tusk. And there you go. Picked up that kill. Sniper was waiting to pop his Fairy Fire at the last possible moment, but the DDC TP with some boots works itself out very, very nicely. And once again, we are going to be seeing LFY pull out to an early lead against Vici.J. 1.5k net worth, 1.5k experience.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And now a 1 kill advantage as well. Man, should I even leave it on CS? Yeah, probably leave it on CS for a little bit longer. Alright, RTK has made an appearance at top lane. Pretty good time for him to do so. There's a big creep wave waiting for him, so this is going to be a pretty significant chunk of his level 5. They did manage to deward that first block over here, but it looks like the Dire were able to sneak in once again and continue putting pressure on these camps, making life that little bit more difficult for FY, a little bit more difficult for RTK. And FY has his sights set on the middle lane, but he's been scouted, so
top tower is under attack.
Knowing about this, Super should be A-okay. And now actually pulling ahead pretty significantly on the Sniper after that pickoff. Do they see the Sand King right now? Alright, they do see the Sand King down bottom, so that's a little bit more information. TP from the Venge was hoping to go up top, but that's going to get cancelled. However, looks like Troll Warlord might still go down anyway into the trees, getting fogged. And now a Burrow Strike coming in. They will be able to finish off aggressive. TP from FY. Does he have level 2? No, he's only got the shards. Actually pops Afu out. If he can just do a little bit of damage to the Night Stalker, he might be able to kill him with the Fatal Bonds. 40 health. Lift up. There's a Burrow Strike available. Afu jumping in. And now the Death Prophet making an appearance. Snowball forward. FY will at least get that kill, but he pays for it with his own life. A couple more auto attacks to finish that one up as DDC gets even closer to his arcane boots. This is going to be an insanely fast pair of arcanes for the Rubik. And Exorcism now popped. Pretty nice timing. I mean, Death Prophet only just barely getting level 6, but if they could take out this safe lane tier 1 tower this early on into the game, oh my god, that would be insane. Alright, unfortunately they don't have any way to clear the wave, so looks like aggressive coming down here should be able to hold this off. Only about a quarter of the exorcism duration remaining. RTK, seeing all those heroes down bottom, is going to be able to put more pressure on up on the top side of the map. Looks like he might be going for a hood first before heading in towards his blink. Definitely a very nice item to have, especially against the Sand King damage and, you know, even a little bit of damage from the Death Prophet. Not going to be too bad against that. Night Stalker's ready to go. He's got level 5. We got a little bit more nighttime. Running over towards the mid lane. Sniper in a pretty defensive position. Does he have his phase boots at least? No, I'm just going to be picking up a wand. Tanking up that little bit more. Just trying to give his team more time to respond if he gets jumped. We do have some phase boots coming up for the Death Prophet, and this dire ward continues to be extremely valuable. Fortunately for Vici, it doesn't quite see around this corner, so could have actually been placed a little bit further over, but I guess they wanted the vision here instead. So they didn't see this rotation off of that ward, but they do see this rotation off of this ward. Continued pressure on the Death Prophet, just not amounting to anything. Troll Warlord in pretty deep, but there's no tier 1 tower here anymore. They're going to pop the Stampede. They've got the Shrapnel, slowing him down. There's the Stomp, and this looks like it should be an easy kill. Even TPing in the Vengeful Spirit for this one. It's all 3 cores from Vici.J committing extremely hard to kill off the Troll Warlord. But it looks like he did lose a bit of gold off of that one, not managing to shop up completely before going down. So they slow him down somewhat, but tier 1 tower does still end up taking some damage down bottom. As a result, Death Prophet scouting things out with the Invis. Spots this poor level 3 Warlock, but they need a stun to cancel a TP, or maybe they don't even need that. They've got the Burrow Strike ready. Afu's going to throw it out at the last moment. Nice easy kill. This Warlock's level is actually very concerning if you're Vici.J right now. I mean, he's not that far behind. Level 3, 9 minutes in. It's not great, but not having the Chaotic Offering is going to hurt them so much this game. Looks like they're going to give him bottom lane. Just try and get his level 6. It is by far the most important thing that they're working on right now. Centaur is at least doing pretty well, and he's going to get his blink at a decent clip, but the pace of game that L.F.Y. are playing right now is just so fast. Like, they've got an Exorcism ready to go, so if they feel like they can put a smoke gank together, could very easily go for a smoke, go for another tower. Alright, both Vici.J supports do get a little bit of time to themselves to pick up those levels that they desperately need. Fenrir down bottom, FY over at mid. The cores in the meantime are all kind of stacked on top of each other, but these levels are extremely important. What's Night Stalker going for? Night Stalker going for a Midas here. Stampede, slow down. Got the stun, set up for the follow-up stun, and there's the double edge. Very nicely done. He didn't have a TP anyway, so I don't know if he would have been able to TP after the magic missile or anything like that, but nicely set up. However, they're going to use this as an opportunity to dive onto mid. FY goes down, but I don't think he minds that too much. That was an Exorcism used to kill just their position for Tusk, and looks like it's not really going to do a hell of a lot else. Tier 1 still just below half HP on mid. But across the map, definitely a good trade for Vici.J. They're stabilizing the net worth a little bit. EXP, not a whole lot there, only about 500 the advantage. And I guess this first Roshan is going to be a really big deal. If Vici.J can manage to stop that from happening, then that could be a turning point in the game for them, and if L.F.Y. managed to grab it, then it'll be very difficult to do anything about them, I think. Especially since Afu is getting really good farm towards his blink. He's got 1400 gold, The Centaur did go back for some Tranquil Boots, so only has 900 gold banked right now. And if the Sand King beats the offlane Centaur to a blink, then you know that Vici.J are in trouble. And you know that Afu has had an amazing game, which he really has. But jumping in, looking for the Night Stalker, he's pretty tanky. One more auto attack's going to do it. They finish him off, but this is not going to be without casualties from Vici.J. The Spirit Siphon slowing down the Centaur. He does have the Stampede as soon as he gets out of this, and he will pop it just to be able to run to freedom. Another 1-for-1. It's Vici.J's turn to force out some TPs. The Sniper's farm is also a little bit concerning right now. He's going to be going for a Midas, so Vici.J very much focused on playing the long game. Like, the very long game, I guess. Well, will Fenrir go for a Midas? Venge just kind of picking up little items here and there. I guess it's only the one Midas at the moment. There's one over on the dire side as well. But Night Stalker, now that it's nighttime, I doubt that he has farm on the brain. He is more than ready to run around and continue finding some ganks. Only thing that they need to be careful of this level 6 on Fenrir. Killing him here could be a pretty big deal, and I don't know, he looks like he's dead. Yep. Alright, juking to the trees a little bit. Tango his way through, but get clubbed down. Nice little lift there from DDC. RTK trying for the save, but no dice. And not having Stampede is actually pretty scary against the Death Prophet. That's by far their best way to disengage from the Exorcism. And with level 2, no, not level 2 Exorcism just yet. Alright, Exorcism pop, wrap around from the side. Vici.J, pretty defensive positioning. Centaur is going to come in here. They go for the snowball, but they don't bring the Centaur along for the ride. Is that going to cost them? Can they finish this kill? Looks like they won't be able to. Spirit Siphon is going to start healing this Death Prophet right up along with the stolen Shadow Word. They just needed to get RTK inside of the snowball. Maybe this fight's still going decently anyway. Sniper's dropping very, very low. Nice two-man stun from RTK. They've got the follow-up. They've got the Warlock ultimate. They've got the Assassinate. They've brought down 2. Death Prophet still pretty healthy, but DDC on death's door right now. As they will continue the pursuit. FY looking to block off the retreat with a snowball and an ice shards. He does get silenced. Nice ice shards, but there's still a little gap, and the rest of LFY will be able to sneak through and escape. DDC is in here, and they will find him and take him out. Nice kill for RTK. Is actually going to end up being his Blink Dagger off of that one. And this tier 1 tower still stands on mid. It's not looking very healthy, but if they wanted to, Vici.J could choose to deny it at this point. And Chaotic Offering coming in at just the right time to start turning this game around somewhat. And now Sniper has his Midas and another 1k gold. The high ground defense strategy is gearing up. The Sand King Blink is definitely going to be a big part of breaking through that turtle and continuing the game plan right now for the Dire team, but it's actually Vici.J who are looking towards this tier 1 on the mid lane. What kind of vision do they have right now? They see a couple of heroes. They see the Night Stalker farming up top, they see the Rubik running towards mid, they see the Sand King down bottom, and I guess realizing that Sand King and Night Stalker are both just looking for an item. The Blink Dagger and the Midas, so they do get that tier 1 tower pretty much for free, and back to farm stations.
Radiant's middle tower has been denied.
That was pretty smart, I guess. Maybe I'm reading into this too much, but probably leaving that tier 1 up while they completed the push on mid, just in case a fight broke out and somebody needed a TP, or you buy back TP, something like that. And with the push done, just go for the deny in the end. Death Prophet looks like she does have her Yule's Scepter up now. Fatal Bond stolen by the Rubik, definitely a nice little grab for him, but have not been able to use their aggressive vision over in the Radiant jungle for a little bit, as looks like it's actually Vici.J are going to try and go for an aggressive play here. Not really the unveiling of the Centaur Blink. I think he may have been spotted a little bit earlier, but still looking for this. Only 15 seconds to go on the Chaotic Offering. Night Stalker
I'll take your trip.
Is still just chilling out up top. DDC along with Afu down bottom. Big sweep up through the dire jungle, but all of these empty camps are going to paint a little bit of a trail over towards the lane. They spot the Night Stalker farming right now. And is he suspicious just yet? This bottom wave is getting pretty scary, and he will just narrowly dodge that gank. As he now works his way towards an Aghanim Scepter. What else? Tusk going to be going for a Solar Crest. No huge surprise there. Got a Yasha for the Venge. Is he going to go for a Manta? Guess that remains to be seen. Mass TPs down bottom for Vici.J. This is a little bit staggered, and that could be a little bit of a problem. Warlock's coming in, but no follow-up if the Sand King was to go for the Burrow Strike there. So unfortunately, they will not be able to burst one of the big teamfight heroes for Vici.J. And instead, LFY just going to back up to farm stations. Take a bit of farm out of the Radiant jungle as they retreat their way back. They do have an entire... They have their own jungle waiting for them as well, since it's just past 17 minutes. So this move is actually going to end up being pretty decent, I think, for LFY in terms of the economy. And they are dragging the net worth and experience back at the same time. Yeah, kind of a shame that, well, for Vici.J, that they didn't find anything, and they also didn't... There weren't any camps available for them to steal. So this next 2-minute round of farm is definitely going to favor LFY, assuming that they even get to these camps over here. You know, right now they're just kind of playing together. I guess they really want to make use of this exorcism to push the bottom tier 2. Sniper, man, he's really tanking up this game. Picked up some treads. Gonna be going for the 4-staff next, it looks like. We'll just pick up the Hurricane Pike. And Vici.J are just gonna head straight into Roshan. Looks like they've got a pretty good read on the fact that LFY really want this tier 2 tower bottom, but do they want this tier 2 more than they want the Rosh? I don't know. I feel like the Roshan was an extremely important part of their strategy in the previous game. So I think Vici.J are actually pretty happy to take that away from them right now. They might even look for a fight. Exorcism's on cooldown for 2 minutes, so as good an opportunity as any to go and make something happen. So it's actually the Warlock who got the medallion. Tusk has gone for... Oh, he's queued up a Blink Dagger instead. Sniper gonna take that farm down bot. There is a nice little opportunistic ward planted here by the Dire team. This looks like they're gonna try and find some kind of a pickoff. And Sniper is having none of it. It's too dark. His teammates are too far away. He's just gonna throw a shrapnel and back up. Very nice game sense from Freeze. I wonder what item Centaur is going to go for here. Probably just the Ags. I mean, there is a lot of AoE damage on the LFY side, especially the Epicenter and the Death Prophet ultimate. It has been nerfed, but still a pretty amazing item overall. If he's super worried about the silences for some reason, maybe he goes for a Lotus Orb instead. And actually picking up a Vanguard. I wonder if he completes either the Pipe or the Crimson Guard before he goes for his next item. It's still a pretty big investment to finish either of these, but they're both... I think the Pipe is better than the Crimson Guard is this game, since the only person really right-clicking is the Troll. I guess Night Stalker's going to right-click a little bit, but I mean, he's going for an Ags. He's mostly there for the vision. Well, they're hoping somebody's going to turn up to farm this mid lane. They're showing heroes down bottom as well, so trying to lull LFY into a false sense of security, but they're all back at their base. Sand King has this game slowed down a little bit. It's actually the lowest level in the whole game right now, despite having a pretty good start to the early game. Troll Warlord this time around is going to be committing in pretty hard for the BKB, as Death Prophet also going to be going for this BKB time, and they're going to pop the Stampede. They're looking for Rubik down here. They've got the Assassinate. They've got him in their sights, and they will be able to take him out. This is why Rubik is not very well renowned as a split pusher, but I guess LFY they don't want to do anything until they have these BKBs, it looks like. So we've flipped the script a little bit. Even with the Exorcism, I guess they don't want to fight into the Aegis really, and they don't really want to fight without their BKBs either. So the call has just been made to Farm up. A little bit of backdoor action down bottom.
Middle tower is under attack.
So they take out this tier 1 tower. Over on mid, Monet does a tiny bit of damage to the tier 2, but does manage to force out the Radiant Glyph. Definitely a nice little bonus for them. Important to have that glyph on cooldown if you can when looking to pop the exorcism. Pincer move. Afu TPing out. Won't be able to find him. Too many little hidey holes in the trees. And FY still a ways away from the blink. Hasn't really been able to sit back and farm too much. Get the Dragon Lance up for the sniper. Now going to be going back for the Maelstrom. So Midas hasn't catapulted him to the top of the net worth just yet, but he's definitely good at defending the high ground, so should give him plenty of time to make good use of that. Tanking gets picked off down bot. They didn't find him the first time, but persistence from Aggressive and RTK will end up grabbing them that kill. How far away these BKBs are? BKB number 1 completed. BKB number 2 still 1,000 gold away. A couple of bounty runes will help out Super's case, but they are giving away so much right now just to get these 2 BKBs. And we'll see if that's going to be... These BKBs are going to have to win some pretty decisive team fights at this stage. Aegis is only up for another 30 seconds, so... 2 BKBs and the Aghanim Scepter, which is the other big timing that I didn't mention. Looks like that's going to have to be go time for LFY. Otherwise, this net worth graph is going to switch over onto a Radiant advantage, and I think they're going to hold on to that for the rest of the game. If, you know, once they get to that point. Yeah, this is an all-in. This is like 2 BKBs, Aghanim Scepter, Gem. We just gotta go. We're losing out on map control. The sniper's getting farmed. The Venge is getting farmed. This is by far their best opportunity. They just need to make sure that they don't smoke on top of a ward. What level do we have on the Warlock? Only level 9. Still doesn't have a Solar Crest just yet. Sniper did go back to complete the full Hurricane Pike instead of going for the Maelstrom, so a bit more survivability from him there. Bunch of lines being drawn by Fenrir, kind of realizing what's going on here. As the 5-man movement makes its way down towards bottom. I don't even know if LFY want to push bot that much. I guess they're just watching their Death Prophet finish farming the BKB and then maybe go for the mid push. Urshan's still at least 2 minutes away. RTK, what's the item choice going to be? Has picked up a plate mail, so maybe he will be going for the Lotus. Doesn't have anything on his quick buy right now, so a little bit difficult to tell. Also, not a terrible Shiva's game, though I think AC might be a little bit better just because the Shiva's is not gonna help your team against the Exorcism. Of course, it helps you, but Centaur's already pretty tanky to begin with. But vision has, for the most part, been completely removed for poor old Vici.J. They have managed to keep these lanes pushed out here and there, but Sniper in a pretty scary position right now. Can he force staff himself away and then maybe TP? He's going to go for it. Can they catch? Afu Blink's actually on cooldown, but they've got the Yules. And this will be a free Sniper pickoff. Nice little... I don't even know if he needed the Invis Rune to find that kill, honestly. Maybe. If he just ran in and his team was further away, then they wouldn't be able to close the gap and get that TB cancel. Alright, what is that pickoff going to amount to? That's really the question here. Looks like they're just going to queue up another smoke. They have the Night Stalker ultimate in 45 seconds, so they can just keep on pressuring. Got a 4-staff picked up for Afu as well. He's not doing that well in terms of levels, but he's doing pretty well in terms of his items. Alright, so Aggressive is going to be going for the Manta Style with his Yasha, but did make a brief diversion for a BKB, so he's got that one now fully completed. We're just Still kind of playing the long game on the VG.J side. Not really all that interesting to be looking at what they're doing, in all honesty, because it's all about LFY trying to get these lanes into a good position to find a good fight, find a good pickoff, find that tower. Smoking down towards bottom, well, smoking towards middle. RTK is actually at the bottom side of the map. Sniper's in some trouble. He's going to get swapped back defensively. BKB popped from aggressive. Helps to keep his mid player alive, and that was an exorcism popped without lanes in position at all. Oh man, the majority of this exorcism duration is going to end up being wasted. Are they going to hope that Roshan's up? No, they're just going to TP back. Fortunately, they didn't pop either of their BKBs, so it's just the exorcism, but no exorcism could mean that they end up losing their Roshan potentially. Fortunately for them, it's actually about a 2-minute Roshan respawn anyway, so they are not going to get punished for... It wasn't even a misstep, it was just a really nice play from aggressive to save the sniper. Yeah, they're really hoping that Roshan's up. They're like, oh, no exorcism, we're going to punish you for it, but looks like no dice. Oh, smoke does get popped. They're going to jump in, stun up on the Rubik. He's dead before he even hits the ground. DDC takes a spill. And now the push will continue. They couldn't get the Roche, but looks like they should be able to grab this tier 2 tower.
Dire's middle tower is under
Troll just farming towards a blink. Wants some more ways to get on top of the sniper, if I had to guess. Or even jump on top of the Warlock could be pretty sweet. Blink, BKB, just chop him. Even if he solo ulties you, I think that's a fine outcome as well. Oh man, FY so wants this Roshan respawn to be now instead of when it's actually going to end up being. But, alright. 45 seconds to go. Death Prophet working on a Shiva's Tusk. Just working on a 4-staff. Almost so. Warlock's been working on the Solar Crest for a while, but he's not really getting all that much closer. DDC actually going for a blink as well. I feel like he's had a relatively quiet game. Haven't really been focusing on him too much in the team fights, but there are some good spells to steal. The battle is going to be for Roshan, and it is up very, very soon. They've got nighttime, they've got the vision, they see the Tusk. Do they see the sniper just yet? That's the question. Jump in, they drop the chaotic offering, the snowball locking people down as well. Troll Warlord losing a lot of life before getting this BKB off and might just get focused down. Roshan has respawned. DDC is going to scout that. Tusk in trouble, but not dead just yet. Still silenced up onto the high ground. It's the Death Prophet waiting 1 second to get her exorcism off, but she's going to get Yule's down into a stun and finished. Ends up just being a 1-for-1 overall. Assassinate thrown the way of the Sand King, but not going to end up finding him, as VG.J will be able to claim their prize, taking out this Roshan. Just nice positioning from FY. I mean, he died in the end, but just kind of acted as a buffer for the sniper, and I feel like Free's probably got some pretty decent damage done that fight. Again, his build is not that crazy in terms of how much he actually right clicks, but they are going to give him the Aegis now, and I guess that's going to be the answer for sieging this high ground. Sniper can let's draw a little diagram, right? So you got the tower here, you got the sniper here, then you got the Venge all the way back here ready to swap the sniper, and all of a sudden this looks like a very, very difficult initiation. So this BKB on the Venge has worked out pretty nicely. Almost has the Manta, a little bit more high ground chip there perhaps. Centaur, just a behemoth. Can they kill him? I mean, they're gonna try. Let's see. Troll doing good damage. Is it enough? They've got the silence, won't be able to get the Stampede off. There's the swap. BKB gonna end up being popped. RTK, they get the lift now on the Venge. Immediate stomp as well, stolen by the Rubik. DDC. I trash talked him a little bit just a second ago, but he's gonna set up 2 very nice kills for his team now, or at least the follow-up kill. And now with 2 dead, and a creep wave in a decent position, what will LFY opt to do? If they try and push bottom, it could turn out to be a total waste because the sniper's going to defend. But is the free tier 2 mid enough? Looks like they're going to try and force out some buybacks here potentially. Exorcism pops. There's the glyph, slowing things down a little bit. Snowball in, dodging the blink burrow strike from Afu. FY making some plays just to hold on to his team's base. Yule Scepter. Super just trying to get as much damage onto the tower as he can, but he's dropping extremely low. He gets Walrus punched up. He pops the BKB, silence under the Tusk, does get 4-staffed inside of the base. They've used the Exorcism, but they don't even manage to finish off the tier 3. I think that was the right decision, because they really, really wanted to get these shrines, but the strength of Vici's high ground will prove too much. They will be able to hold on for a little bit longer. So Aegis is still up on Sniper for a while. 3 minutes. Exorcism down for 80 seconds. More dewarding going on. Very, very difficult for the VG.J side to establish any map control. They're still just on the prowl. Wait, how fresh is this Radiant Center ward? Oh, yeah, I don't know if it saw this observer. Maybe it did. Alright. 5-man push towards the mid lane. Chaotic Offering ready. Both teams have TPs. You would hope so. What's actually going to end up happening here? Is it going to be tier 3 for tier 3? RTK up onto the high ground. Rubik's still hanging around here. He's got a little bit of catch, actually. That could be dangerous. This might not be a clean retreat from Vici.J. Sniper not going to get caught by the Sand King. Does get swapped out. And BKB just to make 100% sure that everybody gets out of this one. But is it going to be enough? They got the slow onto the Sniper. Now it's RTK's turn to make sure that they keep Freeze alive. But out of all of that, they just end up losing their tier 3 tower down bottom for free. That was very nicely done by LFY. They got the tier 3. They threatened the catch with the Sand King and the Rubik, who are already back and in position for the push. And in the end, it's just a free tier 3 for them. Now they've opened the way for the shrines. Looks like they're still keen to try and do something with this Aegis, but it doesn't really matter that much. It's nighttime once again. A little bit of Radiant Vision waiting here, but it does actually spot 2 as they rotate in. Double damage on the troll. That could be bad. Vengeful Spirit, no BKB. Can they save her with the Chaotic Offering? They're going to try. Swaps in the Warlock. He wasn't that useful anyway, and he'll just get chewed up. Sniper in the thick of things right now. RTK gonna go to work. They do manage to bring down the Night Stalker. Death Prophet still very scary. And Epicenter now coming in as well from Afu. Tusk trying to escape. Stampede is gonna get him a little bit further away. Sniper tries to decide if he should go for the gem, but will think better of it in the end, as it just ends up being a 2 plus the Aegis for 1. Oh, no, nice little Ice Shard snipe from FY is gonna actually make it 2 for 2. Looks like he might lose his own life, however, as the Whirling Axis finishes him up. And looks like that Dire Gem is going to be reclaimed by Afu after the end of the fight. So, not a bad place for Vici.J to take a fight. They got the Exorcism used away from their base, but definitely not the way that they were hoping for that to play out. So Aegis is down. Roshan potentially in 3 minutes. I would guess that LFY probably set their sights on these shrines and just looking to reestablish map control with the gem. If not for this ward, I think that fight would have gone much worse, because it probably would have actually broken out around here instead of getting kited a little bit further down. Which I think, yeah, I think that favors Vici.J. Alright, RTK is going for a heart. Does not opt to finish either the... Actually, wait, no, he's going for Ags. Alright, alright. I like this decision a little bit more than the heart. The Venge's BKB is already starting to wear down, so she's going to need a little bit more help. Anyone who gets latched onto by the troll is probably still dead, even with the Aghanim Scepter damage reduction, but... You know, it could keep the Sniper alive for a little bit longer if he gets jumped and then they pop the Ags and he manages to get swapped out by the Venge or something like that, who then runs over a cliff. Who knows? I'm spitballing a little bit. We got daytime again, but it's not for that long. 35 seconds until natural night. And Vici.J smoked up just a little bit ahead of their Sniper, hoping for somebody to be lingering around this tier 2, but looks like LFY have no such intent. They're just going to be going for this shrine instead. Getting some more wards down around the place. Nice, very deep ward there from Team Radiant. Oh man, they're really hoping that like the troll TPs and then they can swap them into a stun. And just, I don't know if that would win them the game on the spot, but it would be pretty sweet. Especially given the fact that there are very few buybacks on the field right now. Everybody's just buying items and items and items. Troll has got his MKB. So plenty of damage. Still waiting a little bit on the whole survivability with the Scotty, but he hasn't really been in too much trouble these fights. Nice blink away from RTK. Doing some covert farming. We are getting to the pointy end of this game. It feels much later than it is. It's only 36 minutes in right now, and it's still pretty close. This is definitely the important section of this game. Van just gonna be going for Shivas. All right, that's a little bit interesting. Gonna go for a refresher as well on the Centaur. Yeah, I was about to say that maybe an AC would be a better choice with the Shivas already picked up, and get that bonus armor for your team as well. I don't think Vici have bought a gem this game. No, it doesn't look like it. Just all this running past wards is really hurting them. I guess they do at least have the Tusk to do a little bit of scouting. Speaking of Tusk, he's going for an E-Blade. Just, I guess, anything to save people at this stage. Night Stalker going to be going for BKB. Which reminds me, we should probably check in on the duration of the other dire BKBs. 7 seconds for Death Prophet. 7 seconds for the Troll Warlord. Alright, Tusk in some trouble, getting scattered at in the trees here. It's not safe when there's a Night Stalker on the prowl. He's buying a little bit of space, but they've got vision on him the whole time. So. FY down. Manta Illusion's just going to push in mid lane at the same time. As Sniper, I feel like I haven't clicked on him for a little bit, has completed a BKB and a Mjolnir, so his damage is starting to get up there. I feel like for his next item, maybe just get I think you just get an MKB or a Daedalus. Just get more damage. You've already spent a lot of time buying survivability, and your team has itemized to try and keep you alive as best they can. And that's where you really have to start paying them back and do the damage. This Troll is so farmed. Game 1 and Game 2. Troll with no empower, just farming up a storm. Monet playing very, very nice. So they're going to give Aegis over to him, Cheese onto the Death Prophet, and this is going to be the most difficult defense for VG.J yet. They also need to be careful not to get caught outside of their base here. Netstalker's running forward. RTK's tanky, but this is still a decent place for LFY to take a fight. What, are they gonna go? Are they gonna just try and get the lane of Rax down bot? Is that the plan? Looks like it is. MKB will be the item for Sniper coming up soon. Well, soon, in air quotes. Still gonna take him a little while. Some assassinate damage. Nice BKB from the Troll. Forcing that out. Nice BKB from Aggressive as well. They've now isolated the Night Stalker, who will also pop a nice BKB. We got the Stolen Stampede on the Rubik. Just a bunch of BKBs getting traded in both directions, but we'll slow down this tier 2 push a little bit as LFY will just back off for a second to recompose themselves. Unfortunately, Troll not carrying his Vlad anymore, so he's not healing. He's just farming. I guess they just want his BKB back. Are we just gonna trade BKBs? Is that worth it? Is it worth it to trade BKBs for Aegis duration here? I'm not sure. I guess they're just trying to figure out how the heck they break this high ground.
I'll take your tribute.
Because you know that Fenrir was sitting there with his finger on the button, just ready for LFY to commit to that fight, and he was gonna rock the crap out of them. So they do have to be very careful about how they approach this. Maybe another item on the Troll is the decision. Maybe he wants to finish his Scotty. Is Death Prophet close to something? Not really. Still quite a ways away from Octarine. We have BKB on Sand King, who's also going to be going for Octarine. And Night Stalker looks like he's going to be taking up the mantle of the Vlad's carrier instead. So making some control jump in onto the Venge. In a pretty dangerous position. Has tons of armor though. Now RTK jumping in for the counter initiation. That Stampede was not enough to Saved Eventual Spirit. Are they going to get caught here? The Exorcism is actually coming into the back lines. Warlock's been silenced. He's in big trouble, but looks like he might be able to TP out. No, the Yule Scepter cancels it at the last moment. Sniper did manage to escape. Tusk also going to try for a lucky TP out, but he's not going to make it, and that is 3 dead as LFY find themselves right in front of a very nice tier 2 tower that they'll be looking to grab. Aggressive was just so far up. Alright.
Radiant's top tower has
I mean, they're going to force his buyback, but there's no buyback on the Warlock. 30 seconds dead. There is a glyph available. Looks like they should be able to wait this out, especially with the Sniper on the case. Aegis almost getting popped for the Troll. Looks like Assassinate should probably be enough damage. And that will be the Aegis down. We'll be able to put his Vlads back in his inventory now, but tier 3 still pretty healthy. No Exorcism available, and... Alright, despite losing a pretty catastrophic fight, VG.J will still hold on to their base off of the power of the Sniper.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Troll is now going for Bloodthorn. What does he even replace for it? Maybe the SNY? Is the Bloodthorn even that good here? I guess the silence is decent. He doesn't need it for the evasion. He has MKB. Nobody else in his team is really auto attacking to utilize the crits. I mean, it is damage amplification, but I'm not sure if this is the item. I'm just thinking that maybe Daedalus is better. Maybe there's just something that I'm missing here. We'll see what he actually ends up buying. The Night Stalker is going to become a more relevant right clicker as the game goes on, and he has gone for the attack speed and the plus 50 damage. So maybe that's playing into it. He's not doing an insignificant amount of right click right now. But she will just continue to stall. How's the AC going on the Venge? Has bought up a couple of components, so no buyback available for the time being. Sniper, also similar situation, just gonna buy his Demon Edge, picking up whatever he can. And I guess this is time to check in on Roche. Still quite a ways away. I guess I can just look down here at the new little UI feature. But yeah, not a whole lot happening. I would guess that... Oh no, I was about to say that LFY might be out of smokes, but then I clicked on DVC and he actually has 2 more, so... Alright, time for another smoke. Lanes are in a pretty good position across the map, so this is not ridiculously obvious. Let's see what they can find. Probably need to get Afu in a little bit closer. Unfortunately, it's not nighttime, but they do have a darkness ready to go. Manta Illusion's pushing out the lane somewhat as the Frozen Sigil is also going to do some scouting. Hoping to flank, but I think... Is that Death Prophet pinging that the fact that they're not pushing this lane is a little bit suspicious? Yeah, alright. Well, smoke's gonna break. And they're just gonna try and get this bottom laner axe, it looks like. Ooh. Vengeful Spirit outside of the base, but not gonna go for her. Aggressive, maybe even baiting them a little bit. Or they're worried that it's a bait at the very least.
Tower is under attack.
Troll gonna test whether or not backdoor protection was working on this tier 2 tower. It is. So they won't be able to grab that. And we're back to twiddling our thumbs for a little bit. I guess maybe just waiting for the next Roshan. I did feel like, you know, I said that if Vici.J get back into the lead, that they would probably be able to hold on to it, but has not been the case. It really has been LFY putting on all this pressure with the Night Stalker gem. Just really no vision to work with for LFY. I think that's even part of why you get the Shivas on the Centaur, just for that little bit of extra vision. Oh, all right. Vici.J gonna try and break out of this stranglehold. They're gonna go for a smoke. Roshan is still at least a minute away, so that's not the objective. They are just actively looking for pickoffs, hoping that somebody was left behind farming in their jungle, perhaps. It's actually Fenrir who leads the way, and that could be a little bit dangerous. So RTK always ready to jump in, always ready to pop the Stampede at a moment's notice. They're heading up out of the high ground. The shrine would be a terrible place to take a fight, and they've actually got LFY charging straight towards it right now. Warlock, will he be able to get his ultimate off? The Stampede gets popped, but he gets Yule straight into the air, and looks like he'll be taken out. No, gets swapped, still silenced for a very long time. The counter initiation was there. Vengeful Spirit popping a BKB. Death Prophet does find the first kill of this fight as Tusk takes the spill. They're focusing on the DP, but she's got the cheese. Sniper on the high ground, still just going to work. BKB, nothing that the Night Stalker can really do. They force Staff down onto the low ground. Death Prophet dropping, but still healing off the Octarine. And they've taken out 3 heroes so far as the BKB now ends. And Troll Warlord will bash the Sniper into oblivion. Centaur also stuck up on the high ground, chain stunned with the Burrow. And that will be a 5-0 team fight. Oh, Fenrir was just moving forward to put down an observer ward to give his team some vision over that fight, but they expend so many spells to save him. They couldn't quite finish off the Death Prophet because of the cheese, and now LFY making some inroads into the Vici.J base. They're going to force some buybacks here, I would think. They can't quite get megas because unfortunately this tier 2 tower is still up on mid, but instead they're just going to go for the tier 4s as soon as that happens. Double buyback coming in. And that will be enough to repel LFY, but at this stage it can probably just go and wait for Roshan. And then, having taken that, look to close out the game. I don't know if Vici.J can take a fight outside of their... Oh, they want to fight outside of their base because of the exorcism. And, yeah, mostly because of the exorcism. But at the same time, if they fight outside of their base and the sniper dies again, it's just game. We're now up to a 24k net worth lead in LFY's favor. 20k experience lead. Troll Warlord has 30k net worth. He's picked up some Boots of Travel, but still another 5.4k gold on top of that. Vengeful Spirit just going to do her best to push out mid. Tusk's going to be going for a Lotus. Man, they need this Lotus Orb so badly. Fenrir just going to go for a Blink so that he can position himself a little bit further away from these fights. Because if he gets caught again, and the Chaotic Offering gets delayed the way that it did in that last fight, that's just game. Straight up. So, we'll see. He might not even be able to farm it by the end of this game. This Night Stalker pick has worked so beautifully for LFY. It's just stopped. It's really, it's really stopped Vici from ever initiating the way that they want to, because their lineup is not bad when it comes to initiation at all. They've got a Centaur, they've got a Warlock, they've got the Venge as well. You can find somebody, you swap them back to your team, you blow them up, but they haven't been able to do that at all this game, and that's all because of the Night Stalker vision superiority, not only from having the map hack on Aghanim Scepter, but also just the vision reduction on his darkness. And actually even, it messes with the sniper really badly, because I guess he is going to have teammates near the opponents, but if you run away from sniper's teammates, then all of a sudden he just can't actually keep hitting you, because look at his vision range right now. What can he actually do? He can't hit you if he can't see you. So, alright. Roshan going to be taken out pretty quickly. Who are they going to give the Aegis over to? I would guess the Troll Warlord again, but he's pretty much slotted. Maybe he just subs out the BKB. Not that impressive on the Death Prophet. Alright, so Aegis on the Night Stalker. Cheese on the Death Prophet. I think I would have liked to have seen it on the Troll, but there's no indication that they are anywhere close to being able to kill Troll, so I guess this makes sense. These BKBs are starting to wear a little bit thin, as Troll will just buy up the entire Bloodthorn. Does still have buyback available. Sold off his S and Y. There's a double damage waiting down bottom, but don't know if they'll find that one. As Team Turtle continues to sit in their base and wait. Because that's what they're... I guess that's what they really have to do. They have no vision at all, so they can't move out. There is actually a dire observer ward scouting them this entire time. I don't know how they put this one down, but they did, and I don't know. It's only got another 2 minutes left on it, but otherwise it could actually end up winning them the game. Yeah, sees all the way across to here. Maybe scouts the sniper. Maybe they kill the sniper. Sniper's feeling like his back is up against the wall as well. Free's going to be looking for a rapier now. Not too far away. Another 1k gold. Alright, they did find the DD. Troll's going to make very, very quick work of the tier 2 tower. A little bit of chip damage onto him, but they've got the Vlads on the Night Stalker now to help keep him nice and healthy. We'll see. This Aegis decision might be the only thing that comes back to bite them, but Troll just playing it nice and safe. Shrapnel laid down. Sniper, as you can see, really having to work overtime to keep defending this high ground. And LFY is still just playing it slow. Super slow. What are they waiting for? I guess they're waiting for another darkness. Oh, it's not nighttime either. Another 10 seconds. Okay, back up. Death Prophet did go for the +8 Exorcism Spirits, now looking for a Hex. We got a Basher on the Night Stalker. And this night settles in. Let's see if this is the last night of Vici.J's lives. If they lose this game, they're not out of the tournament, of course, but it is going to be a very difficult lower bracket run. So, important to see if they can force this over to a game 3, but it's going to be a long road back to winning this game. 30k the net with it. They're going to swap in the Troll. He doesn't have the Aegis. Can they burst him down? Looks like they will be able to. They got the vision off of the creep wave. Night Stalker's now in some trouble getting focused down, but with no Troll, can they really take this fight? He's faking the assassinate so that the BKB duration is wasted, and now they've got a big fat hoof stomp waiting for him. Troll's going to buy back. He's TPing in. They really want to take this fight outside of the base. Death Prophet makes her way up into the high ground. They get the lift onto the Centaur. Vantage taking big damage as Troll chops through her. Buyback is available there, but looks like they're just going to hold it for now. RTK, no buyback for him. Tusk getting body blocked up. Does get Yuled on the low ground. Motel going to continue chasing him as well. FY makes it up out of the high ground. Will not be able to get off another snowball, but this tier 3 is still pretty healthy. And Sniper with the rapier, putting out some good damage. Night Stalker is still alright. Assassinate's not going to finish him off. But they are going to pass the cheese over to him. Exorcism now returning, and this is looking pretty dangerous. At least there's no buybacks on those two heroes. There is another swap from the Venge. Might just look for the Troll. He's going to go for it. Swaps him in. There's the Solar Crest as well. Is Sniper going to be able to get the auto attacks off? No. He's got the Night Stalker and the Death Prophet up in his face. The Shrine nearby is not active, so he's going to be forced to retreat back towards the fountain. He's got the mischance on him, but they will still be able to get that Night Stalker kill, and LFY did lose the Troll. Oh no. 110 seconds dead for Troll Warlord. This is not good. Oh, they were so in control, but they just felt like they couldn't break the high ground. He thought he saw his opportunity there with the buyback, but all right, let's see. We'll see. Let's see how much they get punished for it in reality. It's still difficult for Vici.J to push. The Sniper is very vulnerable, but they've always got aggressive there with another swap to potentially bail him out. Maybe picking up another Hurricane Pike in just a second as well. They do push really, really fast, and everybody is marching down the mid lane. They don't have Chaotic Offering for 30 seconds. Tusk didn't end up going for the E-Blade in the end, just going to be going back for a Heaven's Halberd now.
Dire's middle tower.
Troll Warlord BKB is a pretty low duration. The Glyph's going to be forced out. Still 45 seconds to go. Everybody hanging back. They can't afford to lose any more heroes. We're going to switch it over to the buyback status as we see that only the Night Stalker has buyback right now. Death Prophet 700 gold short, opting to buy the Scythe of Vice. Instead, they're going for the tier 4s. They're going to have to take a fight sooner rather than later. They jump in. They go for the Tusk. Can they actually focus him down? How many spells will they use? He gets Force Staffed a little bit further away. Warlock waiting 2 seconds until his ultimate comes back off cooldown. Death Prophet holding her ground, but her BKB's already been used. They drop the Chaotic Offering on her head. If she dies, she's not going to have Exorcism. Even if she has buyback, 15 seconds to go on the Troll Warlord. He's still dead. They've lost the Rubik. Nice burst strike through from Alpha. He pops the BKB. Tusk now in trouble. Ghost Sceptering up. He's being silenced, but he's still managing to escape. Sniper stands his ground. He gets hexed up. Can they actually finish the job? Looks like they won't be able to. Sniper's still alive. The burst strike finishes him. He does have the buyback. Buybacks on both sides now coming in. Night Stalker, who's got the Divine Rapier? That's the big question. We've jumped in with the Troll. Looks like it should be no escape for the Centaur as RTK gets focused down. Afu has the Rapier, and he's going to continue chasing forward. Only a couple of auto attacks should be needed to finish off Fenrir. They will get that kill, and it looks like LFY might have done it. There's still some buybacks for the Radiant, but Sniper without the Rapier is not nearly the threat that he is, although he was otherwise. And, alright, I guess it all comes down to this Centaur Refresher Orb. No Vengeful Spirit for 80 seconds, a big part of Vici.J's damage. They will buy back on the Warlock, but he's got no ultimate. The Fatal Bond's still pretty strong. Tusk also buying back into the game. I don't even know if Afu really wants this Rapier right now, because it kind of prevents him from playing in the way that he wants to. I guess he did buy back already, so playing suicidally probably not the best idea, but he is really not utilizing this as well as the Troll would perhaps. All right, we got a 0 buyback game. If you're dead, you're pretty much dead forever at this stage. Afu jumps in. Needs to be careful. Does not get the Burrow Strike. Just making space for the Exorcism. They're getting the tier 3. The Glyph is not available. They jump in. They're looking to burst the Death Prophet. Can they keep her alive? She gets her BKB off. They're force staffing RTK further and further away. Will he be able to get his second ultimate off? He's being stunned. He's being silenced. He's being focused. He's getting solar crested, and he will get auto attack down. Dead for 2 minutes. Exorcism still running, about a third of the duration left. Night Stalker getting force staffed a little bit further away with the Fatal Bonds, and the Assassinate might be finished off, but not quite. Afu gonna look to jump back in with the Epicenter, but does not find a good opportunity. They did find the melee barracks, but that will be it. That's all the damage. Oh my god, this game has just gotten a bit crazy. I mean, Vici.J are down by 36k net worth, and it looks like they could still win. Maybe. When's Roshan? Alright, Roshan up in 1 minute and 30, a very long duration respawn for me. Well, I guess on the upper end. This game's crazy. That buyback from the Troll was an interesting decision. Do they not have a gem anymore? There's a bunch of Radiant wards in their base, and they're just not getting dewarded. I think everybody is in a little bit of a panic, and this is where... I don't know, is this where the leadership of RTK comes in? There's a gem just on the ground here. Alright. We got some nighttime, we got a Roshan coming up, and it looks like we have a couple more team fights left in this game. Against all odds. Okay, so what needs to happen? I'm wondering if Sand King even, like, once he has buyback back up, considers suiciding to just give the Rapier to somebody else. I don't know. This is an interesting situation. RTK is still dead for 20 seconds. The Glyph is back up, and I don't know if they really care about this range tracks all that much. And they just don't want to get swapped into the base again. Sniper going to be going for another Rapier. The only sensible choice. As it looks like LFY will now be able to secure Roshan once again. Afu, do you have the patience to scout this? Looks like he does. Alright. Roshan's back up. Troll eyeing up a Satanic right now. God, who else has current gold? Let's have a look. Mostly Troll. Death Prophet looking at a Refresher Orb. Night Stalker wants an Abyssal Blade. Who's even close to buyback? That's the other question. Alright, Troll has buyback again. That's good news. Are they going to give him the Aegis this time around? Just swappo the BKB. Come on, let's... I think that's the play here. No? Alright. Aegis on the Rapier Sand King. Sand King willing to swap his BKB for an Aegis, but Troll Warlord not. I guess maybe if Troll Warlord dies, they've probably lost the fight anyway, but I don't know. I guess he's also got buyback. Maybe the plan is to take a fight and then he'll die and then he'll buy back and he'll buy his Satanic and TP in and they'll win the game on the spot. Radiant buyback still a little ways off. I don't know how accurately anyone is able to track buybacks if you're an actual player in this game, since the pace is just all over the place. You know, very, very difficult to know. The only thing that you can kind of do is look at your own buyback and then look at the kill feed and see where you died. So you're like, alright, I bought back here, and Death Prophet bought back here, so if my buyback is back up, then Death Prophet's is as well. You know, you can kind of do that thing with the new scrolling kill feed, but we'll see. This is tense. This is very tense. 41k net worth lead, and it's still just this tense. Night Stalker scouting. The swap is the ever-present threat right now. They're gonna pop the darkness, reduce the vision. Tusk has a gem, preventing any wards from being planted up on the high ground. Death Prophet swapping out the Yule Scepter for a cheese. And Troll Warlord just hanging back. Can we get a good swap? I think that's the big question here. They were forced to go and push out bottom lane a little bit, so that gives LFY somewhat of an opportunity to come in here and look towards the tier 3. I don't even know if megas matter that much right now. We're past 62 minutes. This game's getting zany. Alright, minus 30 seconds respawn time for Fenrir. Did he manage to get his blink just yet? No, he decided to go back for a Vlad's. RTK ditching his Vanguard in favor of that Refresher Orb. And LFY still just waiting. Looks like, oh my god, we're gonna wait for another 10 buyback fight. My heart can't take it. It's too much. When's Rapier number 2 coming out? Alright, we still got a little while to go. On Rapier number 2, oh, Tusk lifted. He's looking pretty dead. Gets forced to have to wait once, forced to have to wait twice. Stampede preventing the Hex from doing anything valuable. And that will be it. No ultimates expended other than the Stampede, and that's only 50 seconds. But maybe that's enough. Still just poking and prodding from the low ground. They've got this Night Stalker vision. More Assassinate chip as well. Oh, I really feel for Super, because he's got the one ability where if he pushes it, then he's in big trouble. Okay, they've jumped into RTK. They have been able to defensively swap him out, but Vengeful Spirit is actually the one in trouble. And does Venge have buyback? She does. Exorcism's been used. Shrine's soaking up a lot of this damage right now, but alright, step by step, LFY looking towards the Mega Creeps. How much more can they actually get? This ranged Rex, not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. They're going to swap in. Who have they actually managed to find? It was the Rubik buyback coming in immediately. Afu off to the side. Needs to be careful to preserve that Rapier, but looks like he's going to be brought down. But that's only his first life. Aegis getting popped. RK already dead. Night Stalker getting stunned up. Chaotic Offering getting dropped down, but not really controlling anyone too much as Night Stalker has been able to retreat back. They're focusing on the Rax, but the Glyph has come out. Night Stalker getting sent skywards as it looks like he will be brought down. Afu managing to preserve that Rapier. But will it actually be enough? He gets stunned up, gets swapped in, Burst strikes back. Heroes flying every which way, but he does not want to hand this Rapier over to the Sniper once again. DDC also blinking his way out. FY, not going to give up on pursuit. Shards does not block him in, and Rubik has a stolen Shards to be able to block the high ground. And we'll make a nice little igloo. Okay, so Venge bought back. They lost their ranged racks. Melee Barracks is still up. Glyph is on cooldown. Aegis is down. Cheese is still up. And Roshan's back up in potentially 3 minutes. Troll has bought a Satanic. Gonna be swapping out the Scotty for that one. Okay. Man, the fact that LFY still have this shrine is actually a very big deal. It's made it that much more difficult Vici.J to go out and push. Oh no. Oh, freeze. Getting run at. There was an observer horde right here. It's just faded, but alright, he's a little bit too far away from the rapier to consider hanging around too much longer there. They're making their way outside of the base. RTK is respawning soon, but can he actually get out here? He doesn't have boots of travel. They're going to swap in the Death Prophet. There's the Exorcism. Who have they managed to hex up? It is the Venge. He needs to be careful. Stampede getting popped. Tusk in some trouble. Will he be able to snowball? He's still silenced. He's still stunned. And he is down. FY finished off. Vengeful Spirit now trying to escape with the BKB, but it's not going to last that much longer. The Hex is coming off cooldown soon as well. Pops the Manta. Epicenter now being used. Looks like they should be able to focus down the Venge. Manages to jump herself out a little bit further as it's now Sniper who's isolated off to the side. He bought the Rapier. He needs to survive. Will he be able to turn around and just kill off the Death Prophet, the cheese, keeping her alive? The Ghosts focusing on her now, but they've got the Vlad Seal. They've got the stun. They've got the kill. That's 4 dead from the LFY side. It's only Afu who's alive right now, and he needs to just keep this Rapier intact. Sniper's got an extra slot. He actually sold something to buy that Rapier for that fight. Oh my word.
I'll take your tribute.
Alright, there's still buyback on Troll and Death Prophet. This game is not over just yet, but LFY having a hell of a time closing this one out. Alright, Boots of Travel 2 recipe ready for Afu just in case he dies. He's got the buyback ready to go as well. So he's got another life. Venge, still no buyback for 4 minutes. Very important that Vici.J managed to keep him alive in that fight. Oh man, all I'm seeing right now is Afu losing this Rapier somehow, it ending up in the hands of the Sniper, and that just being like it. The double Rapier Sniper just walking down mid and ending the game. Speaking of walking down mid, we do have Vengeful Spirit and RTK heading in that direction. I mean, they would like to force the buybacks if they can, but it's not really that safe when you have a hero of your own with no buyback for 3. So I guess they're going to wait for buyback now, which might mean that another Roshan gets involved. And I'd still like to remind everybody that Vici.J are still down by 40k net worth right now. But I don't know, just some of this net worth on LFY just like isn't mattering. Like the Sand King's Rapier net worth, and I think even some of the Rubik's net worth. Like, he's got an Aghanim Scepter, but there aren't even that many amazing Ag spells to steal. I think Stampede is probably the best. Sure, there's Chaotic Offering, but as we talked about earlier in the game, it's just nigh on impossible to steal this thing. Got a Lotus now up for the Warlock. The kiting is getting crazier. The number of buttons for everybody to push continues to climb and climb and climb, and the end is still... Oh, I mean, it's in sight, but who knows which way this game's gonna go. Venge still has room as well for plenty more items. No Boots of Travel yet. Still an item slot for this Scotty. I mean, Manta's pretty good, but she's still a little ways off 6-slotted, perhaps. I really wonder if this Bloodthorn is doing that much for the Troll. I'll keep an eye out for it in these upcoming fights. Is somebody carrying a gem as well? We got the gem on the Rubik. They're going to see this ward up on the high ground. Get rid of it nice and quick. Buyback situation is Venge. Still no buyback for 1:40. Roshan, pretty much a maximum respawn. So a little bit more waiting on that one. I guess we'll take a look at some quick talents. How about that? So we got Return Aura on the Centaur. We got Sniper with the Shrapnel charges. Warlock still not level 25 just yet. The EXP graph is going to even out sooner rather than later because everybody is going to be... Oh, there's literally only one hero in the game who isn't level 25. So this gap on the EXP chart is all Fenrir? Oh, that looks like it's a bit much for... Anyway, I'm not going to dwell on that too long. Sinking, now going back for Octarine. Blade Mail picked up for the Night Stalker. Alright, hoping that the... No, come on, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me, Perfect World. Come on. You can do it. No, not like this. Not just before the. Oh man, I gotta go for the reconnect, right? Nothing's gonna happen. Roshan's gonna respawn. Someone's gonna go for Rosh. Troll, please stop running towards the enemy base. I'm worried you're gonna get swapped. Oh, all right, is the lag over? Oh, we're good. We're good. He's going for a refresher. Did he sell his Scotty? He sold his Scotty. All right. All right. What impactful items do we still have coming? I mean, Sniper's still got a little bit of room to go. Looking to pick up a Lincoln Sphere. I think he had this Morbid Mask in the last fight, and I think that might have actually saved him against the Death Prophet, who was standing right next to him. Right, another Roshan. Let's go. Is the Troll gonna take it this time? No. Sand King's gonna take it again.
Mortality.
Okay, let's just switch it to buyback status. That's the only thing that I'm interested in right now. It's high ground time. I still don't know if mega creeps matter that much, but that's what LFY have their sights set on at the moment. Making their way in. How many shrines are left for the Radiant team? They actually still have a very healthy 3 shrines to take this fight around, which could be very, very scary. I think the shrines are a big reason of why Death Prophet feels like such a bad hero at the moment to try and high ground, because the ghosts don't kill anybody. The shrines have a bunch of health as well, so your ghosts are just randomly attacking some insanely high HP buildings instead of heroes. How does this fight start? Do they pop darkness? Is that the plan? We got Radiant wards just scouting outside of their base. Nightstalker needs to be careful. You don't want to get swapped in. All right, pops the darkness now. There's the vision. No swap. They've got the assassinate vision for the swap. Perhaps they're going to drag him in straight into the walrus punch. He pops the blade mail. Is that going to be enough for Sniper to kill himself? It will not be. Nightstalker's dead, and LFY will just sound the retreat. Not going to pop any buybacks. Not going to do anything hasty. Just going to wait it out. Sniper's got his Lincolns now. A little bit less vulnerable to the Burrow Strikes, the Blink Lifts, the Abyssal Blade. The Hex as well, I suppose, also very important. Does Death Prophet even need boots with plus 50 move speed? Probably. I mean, you've got 460. I'm just wondering if you can just fill your inventory with items, kind of like late game Weaver when you get the Shikuchi talent. Basically gives you an extra inventory spot. Oh, they're moving out. They're making moves. They want to force things. Alright, Ward gonna get punched. Radiant Courier gets taken out. Sniper queuing up another Rapier. He knows the way that this game is going. And Centaur did end up swapping out his hood for a BKB. So much more difficult to focus down RTK now. I'm really wondering if this Bloodthorn is the right item. Like, it feels like as the game goes on, they just get better at dealing with it. They have 2 Lotus Orbs now, a Manta and a BKB on the Venge, and a BKB on the Centaur. So Bloodthorn just feels insanely difficult to use. It can be so good because you could potentially Bloodthorn the Tusk, maybe when his Lotus is on cooldown, and then you kill him before he can snowball or waste any of your time. But looks like we are in it for the long haul, friends. 40k net worth. Wait, is the experience graph broken? What's happening here? Is it still counting LFY as gaining EXP? Because everyone's 25, right? Oh no, I mean Fenrir is still 24, but there's no way that 24 to 25 is 5k experience. Alright, we got, what do we have? Some negotiating happening in all chat now. Is it time for a bathroom break? I mean, almost everybody has buyback. I guess Freeze is the most notable hero without it. They're going to smoke up. Moving forward. Trying to make something happen. Stealing their resolve. Do they see FY? Looks like they do. Alright, creeps are going to go in at bottom. Maybe disable the backdoor protection. Is that the plan? Are they just going to jump the racks? Surely there's glyph available. Yeah, there is. Wait, what's going on here? Alright, I guess they want the mega creeps. They're going for it. Alright, is the glyph going to be popped quickly enough? There's the glyph. Exorcism still running. Can they get a swap in here? Looking for the vision. Burst strike away. It cost them an exorcism, but it did force the glyph, and the exorcism is definitely the shorter cooldown of the two, so I guess next time around they will be able to secure themselves the megas.
That should help.
Are megas a problem? I don't think so. I feel like VG.J can probably still hold megas. LFY would definitely feel more secure if they had the megas, but not sure if it's that impactful. Alright, we got Troll Warlord Illusions trying to chip. It's not a Manta style, he just picked up an illusion rune. 46k net worth advantage. I'm just going to leave it on buyback. That's really the only thing that matters. We got sick items across the board. Venge is still going for that Scotty, but wants to hold on to buyback. So it's going to take a little bit. Maybe there's still time to nerf Sniper before the next patch. I'm not even sure if the Sniper is the problem here. I think it's just... I guess it's just kind of LFY's team composition against the Sniper. You would think that the Sand King and the Night Stalker would be enough to close the gap on him, but it turns out that it's not when you've got all the counter initiation of the Tusk, the Centaur, and the Warlock. Alright, this time around they're going to try and smoke in through bottom. No glyph. Sniper's moving forward. Do they have vision of him? Not quite yet. Entire team still moving around. Who do they spot? There's FY. There's RTK. They don't want to go on the Tusk. They're thinking about it. But are they gonna do it? FY he's even facing ready to be force-staffed if they go on him. This is a bait. And they've got the vision, and now they've got the assassinate. Nope, BKB gets popped from the Night Stalker, and away he goes. BKB also popped for the Venge. FY back into holding position here. Who even has force stabs left? I guess it's just the two Hurricane Pike heroes. Yep. Alright. Same story. Centaur. Gonna moon them a little bit. Getting healed up. Gets Bloodthorn. Gets Hexed. I mean, they're casting spells, but doesn't really do. Does Sniper have an Axe? No, he's just casting Assassinate and canceling it. I thought I saw two Assassinate things at once. Alright. We're gonna keep farming. And we're gonna keep farming. And we're gonna look at the experience graph again, and it's still not moving. E-Blade for Rubik now. I mean, sure. He's got 20% CDR as well. They've still got these three... No, come on, don't start lagging now. Perfect world. Perfect world, please. Oh, they pop darkness. Oh, I don't want to disconnect. BKB Sand King. Don't tell me this is the final fight. The Warlock ulti's got dropped onto 3 Vengeful Spirit attacks. What's actually happening? Centaur pops the Stampede. Looks like they are trying to retreat onto LFY. Nobody's dead just yet. Oh, the Kale is too real. Tusk, second Stampede, now coming in. Nobody dead just yet. They're still chasing. The Death Prophet's there. Where's the Sniper? His position. He's running forward. He's retreating. Wait, is nobody dead? Is absolutely nobody dead? We didn't even see the fight, but nobody's dead. They threw everything at one another. Everything is on cooldown. I mean, there's still a cheese. And nobody's dead. And their axe has... The melee barracks still full HP. Ranged axe, 1100 health. Oh, I guess... Okay, we didn't need to see the fight anyway, guys. We didn't need to. It wasn't interesting. We're still exactly where we were. If you want to rewind the VOD 2 minutes, we're still exactly there. Aside from the cooldown situation, but there's still literally almost every buyback in the game. So... Alright, this is where we start, like, planning if there are ags that matter. Like, if Sniper buys 4 Rapiers and an Aghanim Scepter, can they win the game off of that? They got the swap. Centaur actually getting swapped out by the Rubik. That was the impactful thing from that last fight. The steal from DDC, but they're actually keeping the Vengeful Spirit alive. They've got the Stampede. She gets up out of the high ground. BKB's being popped. The Exorcism getting popped as well. Ice Shard stolen now. Exorcism Ghost going to work. Burst Strike back up out of the high ground. Alright, while we have a brief reprieve, I might try another reconnect here. Come on, they're not gonna push with that Exorcism, right? Roshan's up. Alright, we're gonna go for the dicey reconnect. Oop. Ice Frog, protect me. Didn't see the stolen swap. That's my bad. I hope they didn't pause again. Maybe they did. Who knows? Nope. All right. Okay. It's just Roshan. It's just Roshan. That's all. Another Aegis Sand King. Why am I showing net worth? Buyback. Buyback.
That should help. Man, if Vici
win this game, there's still a game 3. Troll has this refresher orb in his inventory now. I mean, I guess it's worth it for 2 Satanics and 2 BKBs at this stage. Venge actually buying up an item is not... Oh, okay, they sent the courier all the way over to the enemy secret shop so that Venge could buy Scotty, but no buyback for 1.2k gold. Centaur sitting on the front line. Still has a 7-second BKB. That might be the only 7-second BKB left in this game right now. Actually, how's Sniper's looking now? He's also at 5. Sand Kings? 5. Come on, guys. Is this where we, like, you type in all chat and you're like, hey guys, 1v1, 5v5 Roche Pit? Question mark? Gentleman's agreement? I don't think Vici.J would take it. They want their shrines real bad. Actually, the shrines are all on cooldown as well. That's the other big... I guess that's the other big thing off of that previous fight. This shrine is still up, but... I've got the glyph now. If we wait another 90 seconds, we'll be back to where we were. Who got the Aegis this time, right? It is Sand King again. Who got the cheese? It is Death Prophet again. This is where you start looking in the rule set, see if there's any, like, tie rules or... I would hope not. There you go. The net worth lead continues to climb as LFY finding more farm on the map and only super creeps really making their way into the Vici.J base. They are giving the majority of the regular creeps that are left to the Vengeful Spirit so that she can get her buyback back up, which is a pretty important thing. Oh, Centaur once again baiting for somebody to go on him. Not popping the taunt or anything. They're gonna go for the swap stun, but did not quite find the Troll Warlord. Do we have any other weird combinations? I was just talking about this. It's like, are there items or strategies that can, like, still do it for you at this stage? Centaur getting jumped on here. Does manage to get Force Staffed a bit further away. Exorcism got popped, but the Ice Shards are just preventing them from getting in there. Is Night Stalker going to try and hit the tier 4s? Is that the plan? Just, I mean, they regen now. What's the point? Sniper coming over. Defends bottom by himself. Swap in. Who they managed to get? Was that an immediate blink out? Oh, man. Troll. That was sweet. Alright, so he got swapped, and then he just blinked and BKB'd, and now he's fine. But now his BKB's on cooldown. So it's time to go chill out for 40 more seconds. Aegis is going to be down at some point, but I don't know. It's just... Get me out. Oh, Rubik has swap again. He didn't swap the troll, right? Troll blinked. I think. Yeah, otherwise how would Rubik escape? Maybe Rubik swapped and then he blinked? Oh, Arcane Rune. Does that matter? It's about to disappear. Okay, can we get an Arcane and a DD? No.